Science fits with slap chop 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 chop. Science fits with slap chop. You can be in a great mood all day. You can slap in your troubles away with slap in your troubles away with slap chop.
GM, welcome back to the channel. In this one we have Mt. Gox, Macro and MOG. Going to go through these, bit of Bitcoin as well, of course. Just the latest news and updates, as there's quite a few things changing in the background here. So going to go through the hot topics. And as per the intro, a bit of a slap and chop action here as the choppy price action just continues. So kicking off with Bitcoin, 59 and change today. Some of these candles are honestly quite hilarious. The 15-minute chart yesterday, there was huge nukes going on and then reversals. Pretty crazy stuff. Seems like liquidity grabs in what is pretty much a dull market at this moment as we wait for like the macro clouds to try and clear up somewhat. So Bitcoin 59 and change. Let's just jump into the main news here. So today we saw some Mt. Gox moving. So a load of Bitcoins have changed hands. Now on Arkham, there is this address here for Mt. Gox, 46,000 BTC, $2.75 billion. Obviously a lot of money there. This is the cold wallet, I believe, that is remaining. I'm not sure where this would be distributed to, who is owed this one, but this one here was the other wallet with 33,000 Bitcoins on that has now gone to BitGo. So the wallet likely belonging to BitGo. So people are expecting, I think it was the last kind of exchange to be credited back. We know Kraken and others previously got their hands on their redistributions, but BitGo was the one here. So this started off as just a little transfer with pretty much zero value as a test, and then they moved the funds. So 33,000 BTC, 1.9 billion has moved over to the address here, BC1, which apparently is BitGo. And a lot of people are tagging it as BitGo. So we're going to go with it, that is the kind of final exchange to receive distributions. And whilst this has happened, you know, there's been some volatility on Bitcoin, but nothing major, no huge dump off as of yet or anything like that. But one of the final dark clouds over the industry, Mt. Gox, seemingly getting clearer by the day. So working through a load of these overhangs slowly but surely. So obviously sellers in the market, overhangs galore as of late. So we can move on from that one soon, hopefully. Now, we did have some positive news in terms of macro data here. So core PPI and PPI month over month. Forecast was 0.2 for both. One came in at 0% overall, so zero inflation, and this one was 0.1, less than expected. And as per the notes on here, greater than expected would be positive for currency. These come in lower, hence we've had DXY go down a bit here. So Dixie dollar index down slightly, which is hopefully bullish for our risk assets, and generally the trend on the dollar as well seems to be coming down here on that front. So macro wise, tomorrow CPI comes out, forecasted to be slightly hotter print than previous. So the forecast coming in and telling you 0.2%. I think if it comes in line, no fears whatsoever, market should just continue kind of slowly ebbing its way upwards. So the market is able to digest this in advance of the news coming out tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. UK time. Now, whilst sentiment is in shambles on crypto Twitter, we have news update from the Small Chain. Smolting tweeting out this. So this was August 12th, which was yesterday. Smolting hopes you've purchased all kinds of bags. Your descendants count on it. And then today, you need to buy more. Ever heard of loans and credit cards? Obviously joking, but it sounds like Smolting believes bottom may be in, flippers crossed and glued together. So this could be good in terms of everyone is shitting their pants at the moment. However, Smolting, experienced market participant, if you know who he is, suggestive that bottom's in for maybe the altcoin bags. Now look on chain, coming up with this one. So Cumberland, not the manufacturer of the sausages. If you're in the UK, Cumberland sausages are pretty top tier to be fair. But these guys, an investment firm, I believe, have injected 1.04 billion USDT into the crypto economy in just the last 8 days. So that is the kind of movement that should put the bottom in on a market. And they've had funds received at the following locations: Kraken, OKX, Binance, and Coinbase. So presumably they have been buying up altcoins at the lows, Gumballood is single-handedly holding the market up. Someone's saying, yeah, they probably got a bit of a bad back holding up all these bags. But that's the kind of thing, a huge player buying a billy's worth of your favorite shitcoins. Not really bearish on that front, but of course, Chop City looks like the messenger at the moment. Then this was an interesting macro one. So apparently Iran are no longer going to be attacking Israel. This could be delayed due to negotiations on the release of Gaza hostages, and a ceasefire are expected later this week. So there's going to be talks around ceasefire. This would be good for numerous reasons, obviously on a humanitarian basis, just mindless killing of people, and then of course for markets as well. But any good news, more than welcome at this moment in time as the world is in turmoil. Then we have this, M2 Money Supply. So Charles Edwards doing God's work here. More posts like this. Give this a retweet. Give it a quote tweet. He's saying global money supply is exploding up. We've just broken out of a massive 4-year consolidation. So if you enjoy doing TA on global money supply, this is the chart here. And he zooms in just to show you the breakout from this consolidation, poking up above, bullish, bullish, bullish. Marty Party coming in with the figures here. Global liquidity is moving up, now just breaching $80 trillion in total global money. So that is interesting. What's more interesting is something that Noah talks about on a regular basis on his streams, that in the US, $10.8 trillion needs to be refinanced. So that deficit spending needs to be printed afresh as US debt. So he's saying 10.8 trill needs to be rolled over. This is why they need lower rates. And this is why the cycle, as Noah continuously has been saying for months now, the cycle has not even begun yet. He's one of my go-tos for some macro and that kind of content, and just being, as the name states, highly rational. So from this, you can denote that there's going to be mass money printing as they need to refinance their own debt at a government level. So the central banks will be printing soon. Hence, these charts make a lot more sense when you realize the bigger picture that is ongoing. So we have macro headwinds, but there's also some macro tailwinds as well. And obviously our own overhangs also. Now, this is interesting. The sentiment is in the pits. Now, I think this is really bullish. You want a reset, a hard reset on sentiment. And I think more broadly, we're actually going to go up. I think we're going to break the ranges at some point whilst people are still fearful and left on the sidelines. That's just the way the markets work. Whether that is sooner than later, I have no idea. I personally think we'll probably wait until like September, October for some really good price action, but you never know when things could take off. Fear and greed, though, is at 31. We were in extreme fear yesterday. People seemingly do not like the chop. So a lot of people, I believe, are in cash or sidelined. And this one's crazy as well. Stocks, extreme fear again. So generally, investors are fearful at this moment in time, but we seemingly are slowly grinding our way up from that huge liquidations across the crypto markets, across the stock markets with their dip down. A bit of a wall of worry being climbed, in my opinion. So 3 quick charts to go through. First one is Sol ETH here at 5.5 million Satoshis, climbing but rejected, or kind of a swing failure pattern here, breaking out and then getting rejected with some ETH strength. If we do charts horizontal ray across the initial Pico top, that is now, and I know I'm redrawing some lines here, but that is now a bit of a resistance flip support as it stands. We'll wait and see what happens with this, but it makes sense to have obviously funds in both camps, Sol and Ethereum. I'm not a maxi of either. I do enjoy using Sol more due to the fact it's just a bit of a breeze on chain, but we have a portfolio allocation in both. Did a Round Trippers live stream earlier. Check out the Blockmates channels on Twitter and on YouTube. Give that a watch and you can see what we've all been saying about this, and also showing off our portfolios, like how we're actually allocated right now. And for me, having a foot in both camps makes a lot of sense. Like, I have no reason to be a maxi of either chain, and we just pick the best parts of each chain. So let's move on to MOG. MOG still consolidating. Good chart, but of course, yeah, posted a bit of a lower high. Of course, we have higher lows consistently going up, but with ETH showing some kind of strength here. I mean, clutching at straws a little bit, but you would expect it can work its way back up and maybe get into this kind of range here above 2,800. If ETH does start to move up, which we're hopeful it does, then MOG has been consistently a great ETH beta and has outperformed it massively over the run. So that could continue. So this is one to keep your eye on, and I am massively allocated to MOG, to be honest with you. And then last thing to look at is Curve. So Curve CRV, one of the stalwarts of ETH DeFi, has printed a bit of a bottom and is now kind of breaking some of these highs here, which is showing a bit of a trend reversal, which is bullish for ETH DeFi. Curve went down to like 18, 19 cents. Recently got up to 25, small pullback 24. Sendor up to 32, currently at 30 cents. Would seem quite cheap in terms of this is the biggest trading venue on Ethereum for like-to-like assets. It is pretty much embedded within the Ethereum DeFi stack. And I think if TradFi people are going to start buying some of these DeFi bags, Curve is going to be an obvious one for them. Remember, we do have Mitch's liquidation. What was it? 40 cents was when previously in 2023, I think it was, a load of like VCs, people with a lot of funds in the industry started to buy Curve OTC from Mitch at 40 cents. So I think there will be a resistance when it gets to 40 cents, but I think a bit of a free ride into there, to be honest with you. Curve looking pretty good here and picked up a lot in terms of sentiment over this week. So definitely one to keep an eye on. We previously mentioned it on the channel. You can actually get YCurve, which is Yearn's version of Curve, stake it on Yearn and earn a pretty healthy API. I think it's around 30% paid out in stable coins. So if you wanted to take a longer term approach on this one, you could buy some YCurve, stake it, and you'd get distribution of stables on a regular basis, which could be intriguing if you're into that kind of thing. We'll leave things off there. Check out the link down below for the meal deal over at Blockmates. See you in the next one. Peace.